All right. We're gonna start on our backs in tree pose. So you just wanna lay on back, and you can take your block, and you can do this without a block also, but the one leg that goes into tree, if you wanna take the block at an angle and prop it on your outer knee, outer thigh, so your hip can relax a little more, you can do that. If you wanna go without the block, you're more than welcome to. Kind of settle, move around a little bit, so your head, shoulders, and back are fully on the ground. Lots of options for your hands on your belly, overhead, or in cactus pose. And you're welcome to let your bent knee, that foot, rest anywhere on the inner seam of your leg. So the only time it's okay to put your foot on your knee in tree pose is here. So as you take your time, hi Kelsey, we're starting in tree pose on our backs. So with your right leg bent, you can use a block on the outside of your thigh. You're just gonna lay all the way back. Just rest your arms and hands where it's comfortable. Eyes open, eyes closed, they're always up to you. Just notice if your right hip is resisting. And if you really feel that resistance and you don't have the block underneath your outer right knee, be a good thing to put there. Maybe your right hip is really allowing you to soften. As you just shift your attention to your breath in and out. Feeling all parts of your rib cage move as you inhale and exhale. Just allowing yourself to be in this beginning shape and just focus on your breath. Just a few more moments here. Notice what might be floating through your brain space this morning or what's trying to catch your attention mentally. Just notice it and recognize it, and then move on and move back to your breath. And for these last two rounds, take your breath slower and longer as you inhale. Slower and longer as you exhale. And then gently, if you have the block, set it off to the side. Slightly bringing your right knee up to the ceiling and shifting your hips a little bit over to the right so you can take your right knee across your body and into a spinal twist. And you don't have to let your inner right knee touch the floor. It can hover, especially because it's the first one. Breathe in and out. And then the next time you inhale, come back onto your spine. Extend your right leg. Take a pausing Shavasana. And then move to the other side. Tree pose on your back with your left knee bent, knee out to the side. You can use something to prop up underneath your knee if you've got sticky hips this morning. And your left foot, again, can be anywhere on the inner seam of your right leg. Maybe you change the positions of your hands on this side. Out to the side, stretching overhead in cactus, lots of options. Or maybe you put your hands on your rib cage instead of your belly to feel your breath a little differently in your torso. Just slowly taking the time and attention to breathe. Your body is physically pretty passive here, so no muscular tightening or holding. The main activity is just to breathe. Allowing your left hip to soften, relax, and do a little bit less muscular work. And in your last two breaths here, slow and long as you inhale and as you exhale. After that second breath, removing any prop underneath the outside of your left knee, taking your left knee up to the ceiling, doing that little hip shift over to the left, and then taking your knee across your body into your twist. Yeah, excellent. You might feel a lot of stiffness or just stickiness in the center of your spine, so try not to overly force yourself in this twist. Just surrender into it for 2 more breaths. And then you're going to keep going over towards your left side. So you roll all the way onto your belly and then wiggle yourself back onto your mat. So now you're facing down. Go all the way over. Yep. Forehead to the floor, hands underneath your armpits. Give a little squeeze in of your elbows. Inhale, lift up into a very low cobra. Exhale, lower down. Being gentle to your back as you inhale, lift to cobra. And exhale, lower down. Just move on your own rhythm. Up as you inhale, down as you exhale. Keeping your gaze right at the floor. Keeping your chin tucked into your chest. But still feeling long all the way through the back of your neck. And even long all the way out through your toes. Take 2 final cobras. On the last one, lift up, hold up, lift your hands off the floor, and just feel your shoulder blades really hug together on your upper spine. If it feels too high, just lower it down. 2 more breaths. Exhale, you lower. Inhale, press up into tabletop all fours. Walk your knees under your hips. And you're just gonna go exhale into cat pose, tuck your chin. Inhale, neutral tabletop. Exhale, press the floor away, tuck your chin around your back. And then inhale, tabletop. So no cow pose yet, just cat to table. You're gonna be a little bend in your elbows, or your elbows can be fully straight. Do what feels right for you this morning. So you're just feeling that spinal flexion as you exhale, all the way from your neck to your tailbone. Last two. And you can give a hearty little push into the floor. And then as you come back into tabletop, bring your elbows down to the ground. Feel free to interlace your fingers. Knees touch together. Inhale, bring your left leg up behind you. So lift up. It's kind of like a three-legged dog. And then as you exhale, take your left knee to the outside of your right calf. Maybe tap it to the floor. And then inhale, straighten it back up. Exhale, it's like you're gonna sit cross-legged. Tap your left knee to the outside of your calf. And then inhale up. Exhale to the side. Inhale, foot back up to the ceiling. So you're just gonna do this a good handful of times. Exhale, knee over to the side. Keep going. Good. You're going to feel it in your glutes. That's the purpose. Couple more rounds. Up on your inhale. Tapping to the side as you exhale. Hi, Lisa. Good. Then next time your knee is down to the side, your right thigh is over your left. You're going to kick your feet up a little bit, so towards your elbows, right? So if they're like this, you're taking your feet up a little bit, coming onto your hands and then sitting back like cow-faced pose, allowing your right knee to lift off the floor, but you're not going to sit all the way back. So your behind is floating off the ground. Yeah. Couple breaths here. Try to relax your shoulders. You can always take your hands wider for more support. One more breath in. And then exhale, bring it forward. Unwind your knees. Come back into tabletop. Do a little wiggle side to side. And then as you come to still and center, now inhale, cow pose, tailbone back, eyes high. Exhale, just tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, incorporate your shoulders. Exhale, just tabletop. So you can really feel that movement, that opening in your shoulders and your chest. Tabletop, and you have to have a little bit of a boundary so you don't go all the way into cat pose. Yeah, last two. Keep breathing. And then when you're done, come back into tabletop. Let your elbows come back down to the floor. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. So your opposite index finger and your opposite thumb are on top. The funny grip. Knees together. Breathe in, right leg up towards the ceiling. And then to the other side, breathe out. Tap your right knee to the outside of your left calf. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the side. Inhale to the sky. So move at your own pace. Your pace is your breath. Inhale up, exhale to the side. All right, we need strong glute muscles so our lower back doesn't take on all the work. There you go, good. Notice if you have a really floppy right foot, maybe put some activity in your toes. Got about 3 to 4 more, just depending on your own rhythm. Crossing your thighs just like you're sitting, cross-legged. The next time you bring your knee to the outside, pause. Kick your feet up a little higher so your shins move up towards your elbows. Come onto your hands. And then exhale. Your left knee lifts up as you sit back towards cow-faced pose. It also kind of feels like a cross-legged child's pose. Yeah, so your left thigh is on top of your right thigh. Relax your neck. Breathe out. Breathe back in. Breathe out. One more. And then inhale, unwind, come back into tabletop. Full cat-cow, but go slow. Inhale, belly down, tailbone back. Exhale, slowly into cat pose. You can even come onto your fingertips to really round through your spine. Inhale, you can bend your elbows deeply as you come into cow. And then exhale, feel light as you reach up into cat. And it's okay to breathe kind of loudly. And your preference of breathing, as long as you're inhaling through your nose, exhale however you want. Couple more rounds. Move your face around a little bit so your brain wakes up a little bit more. Last one of each. Neutralize your tabletop. Flip your toes under, hovering table, knees up so your shins come parallel with the floor. Arms are straight. It's okay for it to be a little bit of work and a little bit of effort. Hovering your table. Try not to drop through your neck. Try to keep your eyes out above your fingertips. Breathe in. Exhale, downward dog. Soft knees, straight arms. Maybe it's been a while since you've been in downward dog, so feel free to widen your stance, hands and feet. Feel free to wiggle around, walk your dog. Remember, child's pose is always allowed anytime, all the time, the whole time. And then maybe let yourself settle in some stillness. Gazing at your feet or right between your feet. And feeling the expanse of your breath into all parts of your torso. Your belly, your ribs, and your chest. On the front, on the sides, and the back of your body. Inhale, knees come down, tabletop. Exhale, sit into your favorite child's pose. Wide or narrow knees. Some kind of support underneath your forehead, your hands, a block, a pillow. Just taking your time to pause. To make your breath even deeper, even longer, even bigger in your body. So feeling your torso really expand and contract as you inhale and exhale. Couple more breaths here. And then as you move out of your child's pose, find your way thoughtfully onto your belly once again. So you can walk your knees back, do a little baby chaturanga lowering onto the floor. Forehead tucks down, legs extend back. 3 cobras. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale, exhale down. Holding your last one up. This time reaching your arms behind you with your palms up towards the ceiling. So reach your fingertips back towards your toes. There we go. Eyes look a little bit beyond the very top short edge of your mat. And start to let your legs lift a little bit. And then reach back like you're trying to touch your feet. Squeeze your shoulders a little bit more. Hold that tic-tac between your shoulder blades. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly come down all the way onto the floor and one side of your face. Pause. Now, put your hands in your imaginary back pockets. So your fingers point down towards your heels, elbows point up towards the sky. You're basically putting your hands on your behind. And then again, inhale, lift up, look straight down at the ground, a little squeeze of your elbows together, reach back of your toes. And I want you to feel your glutes engage a little bit. 2 more breaths. If it ever feels like too much, just lower your body so you're just hovering above the ground. And then exhale all the way onto the floor. Take the other side of your face to the floor. And breathe out. This time, interlacing your fingers at your tailbone. Palms touch together. Locust pose. Inhale, lift up. Reach your knuckles back towards your heels. So you can get a little bit closer with your shoulder blades because your hands are clasped. Don't look at the screen so much, look straight at the ground. See if you can reach your toes back and stretch your crown forward for 3, 2, slowly 1, release and lower down. Either side of your face, exhale. Just let your front body relax for a second. Hands underneath your armpits. Knees stay down as you press up into a smaller plank. Knees lift up, full plank. Breathe in. Exhale, lift your hips as you walk your feet forward a little bit, downward dog. Just a little bit. And then play with the degree of bend in your knees. So try more. More. See what that feels like. And then try less of a bend in your knees. See what that feels like. And then do it a few times. A huge bend, almost like you're crouching back. And then almost fully extending. Notice if your legs shake a little bit. One more time each. And then instead of picking one of those extremes, pick some middle ground there with your knees. The Goldilocks knees. Shift your gaze towards your hands. Step your right foot up between your hands. Take your left toes back. Fingers are still on the floor as you come into a twisted lunge. Left hand stays down. Reach your right arm out and up. Look towards the ceiling. Twisted lunge. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can lean back from your right shoulder just a bit. And then exhale, both hands down. Step your left foot up behind your right leg so you come into a cross-legged forward fold. So your pinky toes are getting close. Yeah, good. Now, as you stay in this cross-legged forward fold, lift your hands off the ground. You can just simply put them on your right shin and notice how your balance shifts around. Good. Now, lift all 10 of your toes up off the floor, or 9 toes or 8 toes or however many toes you got. All your toes up. And then exhale, toes down, hands down. Step your left foot back, your right leg back, downward dog. Again, find that Goldilocks sensation in your knees, that middle ground. Inhale, shift your gaze forward, step your left foot up, wiggle your right toes back. Twisted lunge, right hand directly under your shoulder, left arm up. Legs are active, breath is moving. Good, turning from your belly button, leaning back so your left arm and shoulder feel a little heavier. One more inhale. Finish it with an exhale. Left hand down. Bend a little into your right knee so you can step your right leg behind your left, pinky toes close. Cross-legged forward fold. You'll feel it enlighten your outer thighs, your IT band. And then float your hands off the ground for balance practice. Hands to your left shin. You can keep your gaze at your toes. One more breath in and out. Ground your hands down, step your right foot back, your left foot back, woof woof time. Goldilocks knees. And find that sweet spot where it's just enough bend, but also just enough so you can feel your hamstrings get a little more space. This time, walk your hands all the way back to your feet, hang over your legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. Give a slow shake to your neck, yes. And a little no, side to side. Just gonna do a few half salutations. So neck stills, inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold toward your legs. Come up with a flat back, reach your arms out and up, push through your feet. And then exhale again with a flat back, lead with your chest out and down with your arms. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Same thing, rise, reach your arms out, come up. And I want you to take that 3 more times at your own pace. On your breath in and your breath out. Notice if you're in some kind of extreme with your knees, so either super bent or super locked out. Be somewhere in between. Feel free to close your eyes also. Notice if you want to change anything about your breathing, if you want to move into a light ujjayi, or if you want to start breathing out of your mouth. Good, last one, end in a forward fold. Do that same thing we did with downward dog with your knees in a forward fold. So deep, deep, deep bend. Try not to put all the weight in your toes though. Put weight in your heels like you're squatting. Yep. And then inhale, straighten, straighten, straighten. So you almost get to that point where you're like, yeah, that's too much. Exhale, bend your knees, come back into a squat position, and then slowly straighten into your legs just to that point that's like, ah, okay, yep, that's enough. One more time each. And then come to center. Find your Goldilocks knees. That balance point in the middle, a little bit bent, but still feeling a little bit in the backs of your legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Hold the halfway position as you bring your big toes together and transition into Utkatasana chair pose. So as you sit back, you can start to let your torso be at a 45, or you can sit more straight up with your arms towards the ceiling. Yeah, so chair pose. Look down, see all of your toes. So your big toes are touching together. Your knees are touching together. Yep. Inhale, just come up to stand, arms by your side. Separate your feet and just come into a simple mountain pose. Simple mountain pose. Arms by your side, palms facing forward. Close your eyes. Feel your feet grounded and steady onto your mat or onto the floor. That middle ground with the bend in your knees. Feeling your back and belly move towards one another. Shoulders down, chest up. Long in your neck. And your breath moving fluidly from the top of your head to the heels of your feet. And then back up from the heels of your feet to the top of your head. And focus on that for just a moment, top to bottom with your breath. When you're ready, open your eyes, bring your hands to heart center. Tree pose with your left knee. And it doesn't have to point all the way out to the side. You can point it a little bit more at a diagonal line. So either below or above your knee. Lift it in your chest. So tree pose, left foot. A little taller. Notice if your eyes are darting around, try to let them zip in and focus on one spot. And keeping your eyes lifted, simply step your left foot down and go to the right side without looking at your feet. If you need to reach down to do a helping hand to bring your right foot up to your inner thigh, you're welcome to do that. That also might shift around with your balance a little bit. Good, keeping your eyes up, go back to the left side. And then this time, reach your arms up above your head, widen your hands so your arms are in a nice wide V. Releasing your shoulders, lifting through your chest. Good, breathe in. Exhale, switch your feet, keeping your eyes up, keeping your arms where they are. Tree pose. Good. If you fall, it's not a big deal. You just start over. Hands come together over your head. Exhale, back in front of your chest. And then sit back into chair pose with your hands at heart center. Good. Cross your left thigh over your right. Make sure you have a good bend in your right knee. So it's basically like a chair pose, but just one leg is down, one leg is over, also known as eagle legs. Keep your knees bent as you switch to the other side. Right thigh up and over. Try to put more weight into your left heel. Nice, everybody. Good, go back, left thigh over, but don't move your left foot until your right foot's on the ground. Yeah. Look down, you should still be able to see your right toes. And then go to the other side, left foot down, right thigh up and over. And it's okay to feel your quads working. Look down, can you see your toes on your left foot? And then you're gonna let it all go, come up into mountain pose. And just try to go right to stillness, eyes closed. Let the effort of your leg muscles dissipate here as you pause in mountain. Inhale, open your eyes, reach your arms out to a T, eagle arms, right arm under. You can start with a hug. You can start to lift your fingertips towards the ceiling. And then take your right fingers, right, the ones that I'm wiggling here, towards your left palm. Now, most of you, I can't even see your arms, but I see your legs, and I believe that you're doing eagle arms. You can also just hug. Now, everybody push your forearms an inch away from your face, and then start to move your elbows up and down, just an inch or two, feeling the tops of your shoulders. Continuing to breathe in and out. And then let your elbows still, reach your arms back out to a T, take it to the other side. Left elbow under. Start with your hug. Then lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take your left fingers towards your right palm. A little press of your forearms away from your face. And then some subtle movement up and down with your elbows. Woo, hello, tops of your shoulders. Eagle arms. Relax your jaw. And then let your elbows still reach your arms back out to a T. Bring your big toes back together. You're gonna put it all together, eagle pose. Sit back. Start with your right thigh over. And there's honestly different schools of thought. It doesn't matter to me which arm you take under. You can take your right arm under. You can take your left arm under. Just to remember which one you do. I, for some reason, like right leg over, right arm under. You might be the opposite. Both knees are bent, sit back and down. So you're gonna feel a compression at your knees and at your elbows. You can wrap, maybe you wrap your right foot behind you. That doesn't feel great on my knees. You can also touch your right toes down, or your right foot can just float. Slowly, you're gonna open it up, arms to a T, right leg straight, lifted for 4, 3, 2, 1, mountain. Try not to fidget. I know it's tough. Good. Wiggle your big toes together. Eagle pose, other side. Start with chair. Left thigh up and over. Take your opposite arm under. For me, it's the left. For you, it might be the left. It might be the right. I'm leaning forward because it helps take compression out of my lower spine. That might be the right choice for you. Or you might be sitting more upright, but try not to do this. Try not to straighten your knee. You basically want to be in that cross-legged chair position for eagle. Breathing the whole time. You might need to kick up the effort in your breath a little bit. Focused. And then inhale, take your time, open it up, arms to a T, left leg lifted for 3, 2, 1. Stillness in mountain pose. Feet separated, heart high, eyes closed. Notice the warmth moving all over and in your body. Two more breaths. Big breath out. Open your eyes. Hands to your hips, right? Your hips don't live up here. They're here, down here. There we go. Now we're gonna take what's called, I feel like I made this up. I don't know if I did, but it feels real cute. It's called eagle in a tree. You're gonna start with just your lower body first. So you're gonna come into eagle, left thigh over, and then inhale, tree pose. Exhale, eagle. Eagle in a tree. Oh. Avoid your knee. So you're just gonna keep going. Eagle, legs on your exhale. Tree with your shoulders over your hips on your inhale. Do it a few more times. Notice if you're rushing any part of this, you're trying to get one of the poses over more than the other. Good, stand tall as you inhale, tree, and then exhale, stay down in your eagle legs, add your arms. So if your left thigh is over, maybe you try the other wrap. It might just change your brain a little bit. It might change your balance a little bit. So if you do left arm under every time, maybe try your right arm under, or vice versa. And then from this eagle pose, eagle in a tree. So you're gonna come into your tree pose, arms overhead. It's okay to feel a little fatigue in your bottom foot. Lift up a little higher, reach your fingers. Feel where your right heel is on the ground. One more breath in. Exhale, relax your arms, mountain pose. Again, try not to fidget. Let the sensation naturally dissolve. Breathe in. Sigh out. One more. And then eagle on the other side. So you're just gonna start with your legs, hands on your hips, right thigh over. Inhale, stand tall, tree with your legs. Exhale, cross it over, and you're gonna feel the movement a lot in your hip socket. So if it ever feels like too much, you don't have to point your knee out to the side. It can just be slightly at an angle. So you're crossing, exhale, standing tree, inhale. Move at your pace. Eagle in a tree. I thought it was cute. I hope you're getting a kick out of it too. Most of you, I can't see your face, but I can feel your smile through the screen. Take 2 more. As you come down into your eagle legs, hold it here. Make sure you have a bend in your left knee. And then you're gonna wrap your arms. Maybe you try the opposite wrap you normally do. Sitting weight into your left heel. Take your time to open it up into tree pose with your arms up and your foot anywhere but your knee. Chest lifted. Notice your left heel on the floor, grounding you down as you reach up and out through your fingers. Exhale into mountain, just right into some stillness. No matter where you are, any pose, really give yourself full permission to breathe. Even if it feels tight and restricted in certain parts of your torso, your belly or your chest. Can you stand up just a little brighter? And then open your eyes, hands to your hips, stepping your feet out much wider than your hips, toes turned out. And as you bend your knees and lean forward into a horse stance, pressing your knees out to the baby toe sides of your feet, hands lightly on your knees, left shoulder down, turn your head to the right. Inhale, come up and out of it a little bit, right shoulder down, turn your head to the left. So just do that a few times. It's a light twist at your belly, some mobility in your shoulders, but you should start to feel your inner thighs with effort. So tree pose is great, opening up your hip and your adductors, but we also need to have a little strength in our inner thigh muscles. Yay. So as you take this one more time, each shoulder in horse stance, which some of us know as goddess pose, same deal. You're gonna come to center. Hands are lightly on your legs. Lift both of your heels, doesn't matter how much. And then start to pull your toes towards each other, which I know is a weird concept, but you're kind of hugging everything in and underneath you. So you should feel the effort right in the inner seam of your legs. Oops, some of us look really creepy with our shoulders. Now, you can take your heels higher, you can leave them where they are. You can take your hips lower, you can leave them where they are. 3 more breaths. Leaning forward if you feel a lot of compression at your lower spine. 1 more breath in. Exhale, heels slowly down. It's okay if they get shaky. Push through your feet, slowly stand up. Wiggle it out. I'm now calling that the high horse pose. So we're gonna do it again. Come down first. Get your knees pressing slightly back towards your little toes. And then lift your heels. It can literally be the slightest lift. And you'll feel the engagement as you hug everything in towards the center. And then you choose what you wanna do. Do you wanna go higher with your hips? Do you wanna go lower with your heels? Do you wanna go higher with your heels, lower with your hips? And if you get that sense of shakiness, it's okay. It's just something new happening. 2 more breaths, relax your shoulders. This time you're gonna take your hips up first, keep your heels lifted, almost straighten your legs. It's a different way to balance, and then gently bring your heels down. Now, big toes turn in, heels turn out. Lift up through your chest, breathe in. Exhale, take it into a wide forward fold. Bend your knees. Take it down. Let your head drop below your heart. Feel free to release your hands to the floor, or if you need more opening in your shoulders and your chest, interlace your fingers at your low back like we did in locust pose and stretch your knuckles up towards the ceiling. I'm gonna give you a solid 2 to 3 minutes. You can just stay in this wide-legged forward fold. You can take anything else you need. You wanna come down into child's pose? Child's pose. If you wanna take any kind of upside down variation, which can be anything from legs up the wall, laying on your back, going to the wall for any kind of headstand, handstand with support. But know that wide-legged forward fold gives you the same sensation as an inversion without any pressure on your neck. Watch how your breathing changes wherever you've chosen to go, to be, to stay at. And don't feel like you're stuck wherever you're at. You can always change. You've still got a full minute, which sometimes goes fast, sometimes it feels like it lasts forever. Always shifting, kind of refocusing, reattuning yourself to your inhale and exhale. We'll meet back, wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Eventually turning yourself into a runner's lunge with your left foot forward and your right leg behind you. So you're gonna pivot to the short end of your mat. Yep. Simple way to get to the floor. Bring your right knee down. You're gonna cross your left thigh over your right. And then sit back, boom, into cow face pose. So your feet are on the outsides of your hips with your knees as close to stacked as you can take them, right? And move around so you want both bum muscles on the ground. Your heels can be close in. You can also walk your shins more forward. You can manually move your knees around. Just be safe. Sit up nice and tall as you inhale. Exhale, hinge forward. Just enough. It might literally be half an inch where you feel it. You can keep your hands on your knees or hold opposite elbows behind you. So open an extra bit into your shoulders, your upper chest to breathe. Point your feet, curl your toes. See how that feels on the outer edges of your hips and thighs. And then find the opposite motion, flexing your feet, toes pull towards your knees. See if that feels any different. Inhale, slowly come up. Shoulders over your hips, gently release your elbows. This is just for pure fun, everybody, so don't think about it too much. Take your hands over to the side. So whatever foot's on top, you're gonna take your hands to that side. Whatever knee's on top, yeah. It's okay if you're opposite of me. You're gonna push your arms straight, lift your bum up, pivot your toes, and your knees need to follow. Then you're gonna pivot around, keep going in a circle until the opposite knee comes on top. Da, 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 da. You're so smart, gold star. Don't worry if you didn't get it. Just for funsies. And then again, you're gonna move things around. Side to side. Sometimes I literally take my hands to my knees, move them around. Maybe your heels need to be closer towards your bum or farther away. Sit up tall. Exhale, add that little bit of a lean from your hips. Notice if you're jutting your chin forward, drop it down just a bit. So if you literally touch the back of your neck, it's smooth. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. Just because we all need that little element of chest opening. Point your feet, curl your toes. Notice. Flex your feet, toes towards your kneecaps. Still with that little lean forward. Inhale, slowly lift your shoulders to stack right above your hips. Release your arms. Release your legs. Take your left leg out to the side, Janu Shirshasana. But interesting. This looks just like tree pose, doesn't it? You're just sitting, turning towards your straight leg, leaning a little bit forward. But activate your left foot, whether it's flexed or pointed. Maybe you even need to move your toes around or move your ankle a little bit side to side. Inhale, slowly lift up. Take it to the other side. Just a little switch, nothing fancy. Left foot, inner thigh, turning towards your right leg with that little bit of a lean. Shoulders down, a slight tuck of your chin. Good, move your toes, your ankle. Just get some fluidity there. Watch your shoulders, watch if you're rounding, right? It's not necessarily, different schools of yoga have different thoughts about this. Some of them say get down first and then extend out. I'm a little bit in the opposite camp. I'd rather you keep a tall spine and go forward less. Doesn't mean it's the right answer. You can try both ways. Inhale, slowly come up. Straighten both legs out. Transition yourself so you've got enough room to roll back behind you with bent knees to take the stress out of your back. You can roly-poly, up and down. Instead of going straight on your spine, go to the side. So you're leaning a little bit to one side. So you're actually on the muscles that run parallel to your spine, and you're not rocking right on your little spiky vertebrae. That kind of hurts. So you gotta lean a little bit. One more time each side. Kind of fun too. All the way on your back. Child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide, on your back, on your back. Arms over your head. So think as if you were putting your shins and your hands on the ceiling. Breathe in. Reach your arms a little farther. Feel the stretch all the way down the sides of your body, armpits and all. Good. Keep your arms over your head. Straighten both legs up to the ceiling, but get passive in your feet and your knees. So you're just hanging in Viparita Karani inverted action pose for a little bit. If it feels like it's tugging at your hip flexors or hamstrings too much, feel free to bring it into a tabletop with your knees. Last breath or two. Everyone bend your knees slowly. Use this as a mindfulness activity. Allow your feet to touch the floor at the exact same time. Ooh. Take a moment, see if your body needs anything else, like a final bridge or a final twist. Or maybe just an extra pause in constructive rest with your feet wide, knees touching together. And then just tie up your practice however you need before you stretch out into any variation of Shavasana. On your back, at the wall, on your side, on your belly, butterfly, any way to rest. Socks and sweaters. If you want to rest, if you've got a big day and you need a little more energy and you want to find fish pose with the blocks to rest in, you're welcome to do that. But no hurry. Got a couple minutes to rest. And this is the space where you really just want to feel like you can physically release into the floor. So very passive. Now that you've taken the time to move some effort in your body and then out. Just 3 minutes of complete quiet. Allow yourself to even accept any sounds in your space as part of your Shavasana for here. If you have extra time and you need extra rest, I'm going to encourage you to just stay in Shavasana for longer. If you need to start to move from this resting space, breathe first with some sound. Begin to wiggle, shimmy, and stretch around. Only if it's the right choice for you. As you move into your Friday, from your Shavasana, maybe onto your side. And then eventually up into your seated position. It's not a race to see who gets there first. Again, you might just be staying in Shavasana. Bring your hands together and let your thumbs lower down. So your shoulders also drop down. Closing your eyes. Just allowing yourself to collect your thoughts, your breath, your body, your practice, your time here in this past hour. Notice if anything has changed or if you feel different in any slightest way. We'll end together by clearing 2 breaths and taking an Om on the 3rd exhale. You can just listen. No one else will hear your Om. You can also just hum along or just sit quietly. Breathe in. Inhale for Om. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, practicing, and allowing me to help you continue to practice. I hope everyone has a lovely Friday. When you're ready, you can let go of your hands and open your eyes. You can always pop your microphone on, wave goodbye, say hello. Dun, 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 I'm coming towards you. Not in a creepy way. No.
Amy Jane, good seeing you. Have a good weekend.
Good to see you, Larry.
Thanks, Amy. Sorry I was late.
Good job. Oh, you're fine, Lisa.
Amy Jane.
Thanks, Natalie. Oh God, I did it.